right, in this video, we're going to talk about opening up a thrift store in 2024. Right now, as I record this, it is February the 5th. And so we're already a little bit here into 2024, but we got a long ways to go. And, you know, this is about, should I open up a thrift store? If you do, what should you do to be successful? I've been operating a thrift store for a little over a decade. So I've kind of seen, you know, kind of gone through a few different cycles, seen a few ups and downs in the economy, and kind of seen the kind of stuff that, you know, will affect, you know, a thrift store. And the bottom line is, a thrift store can be successful in any economy. In a really good economy, people buy anything and everything. In a bad economy, people are looking for deals. So all the people that would normally shop at a thrift store continue to shop at a thrift store. Some of the people that before might have shopped at a, you know, a regular store, retail shopping, they might more lean towards shopping at thrift stores a little bit more to try to find a bargain because, you know, of a bad economy. As far as what kind of economy do we have in 2024? Well, everybody knows the price on everything is going through the roof with inflation and, you know, house prices, you know, skyrocketing, and interest rates skyrocketing, the price of cars skyrocketing. All your big stuff is going through the roof, but all your small stuff is going through the roof too, and it just keeps adding up and kicking everybody's butt every time they go to the checkout counter, you know, wherever it is, the grocery store, Walmart, wherever it is. All the bills that you pay, your power bills, your trash, you know, to haul trash off, everything. Our dumpster bill here at the store has gone up, I mean, exponentially in the last couple of years. It's unreal how much more we pay just to have our trash hauled off now than we did just a couple of years ago. But this is our store right here. We have just closed for the day a little while ago. Everybody's gone. You know, that's why I'm recording this now. It's hard to record a lot of stuff when there's customers everywhere because you end up getting them in the footage and they don't want to be, or they're just kind of weird. Some of the stuff you're saying, they're kind of behind you listening, or you might catch them saying weird stuff in the background. But anyways, we're closed now, but this is it. This store is this building is 18,000 square feet. We started out in a little warehouse. We started out with 2,000 square feet, and then we took over the warehouse beside that, went to 4,000 square feet, and then there was another beside that. There was 3 of them when we combined them all into one, 6,000 square foot. And then I kind of rented a couple other warehouses at one point to hold extra stuff, because mainly where we get our stuff is storage auctions, and you get so much stuff from storage auctions, it's unreal. But we're in this building now. We sell our own stuff here. We rent vendor space where we will rent a block of space to someone. They come and they bring their stuff, they tag it, so we get rent from them, and then when we sell it, we get 10% commission. So that helps out a lot. If you have a lot of space and you're wondering, how am I going to consistently fill all of that space? Well, booths, renting vendors, you know, what people call booths or vendor space, consignment space, whatever you want to call it. It's not consignment in that they bring an item and then you sell it and take a percentage and you put it like in with your stuff. They have their own space, block of space that you rent them, and then, you know, you take care of, you know, paying the power bill and all that stuff, and having, you know, someone run the register. So then you take a percentage. Ours is 10%. And then we rent U-Hauls. See all the U-Hauls on the edge of the parking lot there? There's some trailers. We rent those. So you're gonna need in 2024 to be successful, you're gonna need some, you know, other, you know, revenue streams besides just your people walking in, you know, and buying stuff in the thrift store. That's great, but if you can utilize any of your space, such as U-Hauls, just call them up and, you know, they will come and set you up really easy. At first, you don't make as much money. As you do it for a while, if you have consistent business, they'll begin to give you more trucks and more reservations, and you can do pretty good. You could also, like, I've thought of it before, I haven't done it, you know, a lot of times people will sell the little storage buildings out in their parking lot. If you got any kind of space at all, especially if you're on a busy highway and you can put those buildings out there, I've heard that they can do pretty good. There's a lot of different stuff you can do, but that's just a couple of ideas. You could potentially have someone set up like a food trailer, like a barbecue grill, food truck, food trailer, that kind of thing, and sell, and you just, you know, collect rent, but then you'll both help each other out because they will feed off of your customers, and if they get a following because their food is good, then the people will come to seek out their food, and then they will shop with you. So all that kind of stuff always works together, kind of like U-Haul. Sometimes people make a U-Haul reservation and it sends them here, they've never even been here, and they're like, oh, I've never even been here, and then they end up shopping here. So, or vice versa, one of our customers that buys something big and they're like, how am I going to get home? And then like, oh, y'all rent U-Haul, so we both work together on that. All right, so let me come in here, and since we are closed, I'm going to lock this door because people they will pull up and then they will just walk right in, even though it says closed. The hours say closed, and the next thing you know, you turn around and there's somebody standing right behind you shopping and scare the crap out of you. But anyways, so we talked about inflation. Okay, you're gonna have to market as much as you can. I mean, that should be obvious, but I know a lot of people, they open up a store and they think, oh, I have a store, there's a sign. Oh, that's another thing. Make sure you have a good sign that's clear, that says what you are. Don't come up with some crazy logo sign that you can barely tell what it is and people don't know where you are. So you can have a specific name, but somewhere on that sign, you need to have real big thrift store or something along those lines. But if you're just relying on people to walk in right off the streets, you're going to have a very difficult time. I've seen people do that. I've seen people do that with a lot of businesses, restaurants, or whatever. You got to market like crazy. Everybody in the whole world, pretty much, except maybe some little tribes out in the middle of nowhere, even they probably know who McDonald's is. But McDonald's runs commercials all the time. They run promotions all the time, bring in like special items. The McRib is back. Oh, we're bringing back the retro chicken nugget toys, all that kind of stuff. They're always doing something to keep McDonald's fresh in your mind and so that you don't forget about them, as big as they are. So don't you think that a small mom and pop thrift store or whatever your business is, you should be marketing all the time too. The good thing is nowadays you have so much free marketing tools. All of the social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, or whatever you want to call it. All those things plus more are great tools to market and build up a following, and it's free. Now, yeah, you can pay extra to run some advertisements that reach more people, but the basis of it, it's free. You can do so much advertising on there for free. It's crazy. You can sell your items. That's another thing. Our items now, vendors bring in stuff. We don't do this. It's up to them. Now, our items, like say for instance, okay, we're selling this big credenza right here for $405. Any of the bigger ticket items, we post. I have somebody here. They post the stuff on Marketplace, and you know, I give them a percentage because they're the ones dealing with all the tire kickers, and they sell the stuff. So even if the person, this is what happens a lot of times. They come in to buy this. And I've seen so many times they come in to buy this, and next thing you know, they're spending $1,000 or more because they're buying other furniture. Because the reason they're coming in buying this piece of furniture is they just moved in a new house and they got to furnish a couple rooms or whatever the case is. Or they just come in and they're like, ooh, look at that, ooh, look at that. Or they come in, they buy this, but then they know where you're at, so then they become a regular customer. So that's huge. Selling stuff on Marketplace can help you right then, and it can help you in the long run. But definitely you need to take advantage of all of the free marketing that is out there nowadays. It's so easy. You don't have to run a commercial. People used to, you know, stores would have to run a commercial with a local station, local radio station, put them in the newspaper. It's not, most places don't even have a newspaper anymore. But now you have all of this free advertising. Okay, next thing. Okay, you got to have some kind of, I guess you could say gimmick or just something different that you do. Okay, a couple of things that we do that are a little bit different besides just the regular thrift store. We have all the regular thrift store, all the stuff in here that you can just come in and buy. And just so you know, okay, also, I kind of skipped this, hold on. Out here on the front sidewalk, see we have this covering over, so when we're open, we pull it all in. We have racks on both sides. See all these racks here? That's all clothing and stuff that we put out there, so we utilize that space. We put all of the store's clothing out there. And then we have all these racks, so that's why these are parked down the middle. All these, they're on rollers. We roll these out here, and we get like Lowe's, Home Depot kind of stuff, and we put it on that side. So utilize every little bit of space you can. If you have any outdoor space, find a way to utilize that space. You're renting it, but most people wouldn't even take that into consideration. All right, going back to doing something different, a gimmick, whatever you call it. There's two things that we do besides just the regular, you know, we're a store, come and shop with us. All right, one thing over here, this just ended this weekend, so we just started kind of setting this up. It's nowhere near finished. It's Monday, and we got all week to fill this thing up. But we do this area called the dig. Basically, what we do is this area, we fill this whole area. We kind of get it corralled in here. So it's its own separate area, one way in, one way out. We got signs up here. We call it the dig. Everything that goes in here either has a piece of green tape on it or blue tape. Green tape is the little nicer stuff. Blue tape is the, you know, lesser stuff. Okay, the first day we open will be this Saturday. Blue tape will be $2. Green tape will be $5. And then each day we go down in price all the way until Thursday is $0.25 and 50 cents. And then on Friday, whatever's left, because at that point, we've been selling it. It's honestly, you know, it's a lot of junk left. To keep the junk moving and get out of your way, we run free. So everything left is free, so it clears this area out, and then the next week we fill it up and we do it again. So it's one kind of gimmick, special type deal that people look forward to. They know every other week we're going to fill this thing up. It's going to have all different stuff. You never know what you're going to find. There's going to be junk. There's going to be some hidden treasures in here. You just never know. So that's one thing we do. The other thing we do, there's that area there. See, as you can see, it is closed right now. Next dig starts February 10th, which will be this coming up Saturday. Let's roll over this way. We actually do, I'm gonna show you the area. Same thing on this area. Everything at the moment, it's probably not the best day to do this video, but I'm gonna show you the auction area, and it's the same deal. We just finished our auction this last week, and then on Friday, and pickup was on Saturday. So we just started kind of refilling this area, and it's kind of a mess and it's not full, but we fill this up all week, and then next week we will list this. But we run an online auction. So like I said, we get tons of stuff out of storage units. That's how I get the majority of my stuff. So we get a lot of stuff, a whole lot of stuff. So this whole corner back here, we got it blocked off here while we're setting it up. All these shelves, tables, there's some floor space here. We fill all this up and we run an online auction. We have our own website. We don't run it through eBay or anything like that. So I don't pay any, I pay to run my auction software. I'll tell you, I pay $125 a month. That's it. $125 a month, and then I don't pay any fees. I don't pay any commission on any of this stuff. I'm the one that actually charges the fees and gets the commission when people sell stuff with me. So, you know, like when you sell something on eBay, if somebody says, oh, well, I sold something for $1,000 on eBay, by the time you're done with the fees and stuff from eBay and then PayPal, you're probably gonna, I mean, a lot of times you're somewhere around 25%. So you actually just sold it for $750, and you got to ship it, and you got to deal with the pain and hassle of, you know, dealing with the people and potentially getting scammed, potentially having items getting damaged, which that's a huge thing. So much stuff gets damaged when you're trying to ship it. I don't ship any of this stuff. They come and pick it up. I set it on the table, I set it on the shelf, we list it, and then on Saturday they come and get it. So if they pick it up and they drop it on the floor and they break it, before they come back here, they have to pay up front. So if they break the item, then it's already theirs. They bought it. It's their fault. Unfortunately, you know, you break it, you buy it, especially when it's yours. You've already bought it. So if you break it, then, you know, it's just an accident. It's you know, unfortunate, but that's the way it is. So anyway, so this is what we do back here. I know it's kind of hard. It's kind of a mess back here at the moment. Like I said, we just today started filling up back there, and this is kind of just, you know, we're kind of sorting and going through stuff. All right, so like I said, you got to do something a little bit different to get people in here. The auction, people come in for the auction, they shop in the store. People come in that shop in the store, they see the auction. So they both work together to get customers. All right, so also besides the auction, you know, if you're not going to do the auction, that's just what we do. You got to do something online. I said you've got to market online, but you also need to utilize online as a tool to sell. So that's what we do. We do the auction. That's the main thing we do. Like I said, we post stuff on Marketplace. You can sell on eBay. A lot of, you know, eBay's great. You can get good money for a lot of stuff on eBay if that's what you choose to do. Only thing with it is it takes up a lot of your time with, you know, packaging and shipping. So you got to have a plan in place for that. But you definitely, it's a good idea to be posting some stuff somewhere online, whether that be eBay or now you've got Whatnot. Whatnot's huge. People are selling a lot of stuff through Whatnot. Same deal with Whatnot. I see people having these huge sales on Whatnot, which is great. You can make a lot of money, but just remember, all that stuff has to be packaged and shipped. So there's a lot more to it than just having that Whatnot sell that night. And then, you know, dealing with potential damage and all that stuff. So if you choose, do something online, utilize it, because there's some stuff that you're just going to have a hard time having it just sit on the shelf. You're going to have a hard time getting top dollar for it just sitting over here. But if you can put some of this stuff online, be it eBay, Whatnot, Marketplace, Craigslist, all the millions of other places that you can sell stuff. There's so many of them now. Or, in my opinion, the best thing you can do, it's going to take some time, effort, energy. At first, you might have to sell some stuff cheap. You might lose a little bit of money at first, but in the long run, it's awesome to do. Create your own website that people buy off. Create your own auction, and to where you control everything and you make all the money. Because you're having to buy this stuff anyway, so, you know, any way that you can prevent, someone else from getting the money and someone else from dictating the rules. Like this here, I make my own rules, and then people have to follow my rules instead of me following eBay's rules or whoever the case is. So my advice to you is somehow create your own online sales channel. Don't just rely on eBay, Amazon, whatnot, whatever. Those are great, but if you can create your own, it's even better. It takes a lot more time, effort, and energy, like I said, but it is a very good thing to do. All right. Another thing, like I said, finding other streams of income. Like we already talked about that. I was, mentioning the U-Hauls out there or the storage buildings. There's a lot of different stuff you can do to create, different streams of income. There's actually other trucks you can do. You can do budget, you can do Penske, and there's a million other things that, other people probably have ideas on that you can do that will utilize the fact that you have a location, you have a store, you have a cash register, you're here operating. Some other things that you can do that will take advantage of the fact that you're here, already working, that will produce, other streams of income. The more streams of income you have, now you don't want to get too crazy and have it going everywhere and be overwhelmed, but if you have some stuff that doesn't take up a whole lot of time and energy, so where it takes away from your main business, such with me, U-Haul, they're just parked out there, people come in, rent them. Takes a little, sometimes it gets busy, it does take some time, but most of the time it's not a big deal. All right, other thing, you've got to, like I said, with inflation, and this is even without inflation, you got to sell necessities. If all you have is a bunch of, ooh and ah collectibles and decor, you can sell that stuff obviously, but you got to sell your bread and butter has got to be necessities. So clothing, I know a lot of people don't want to sell clothing, but so many people buy clothing. I sell clothing all day, every day. And a lot of women, they come here just for the clothing. That's their main reason. Then they buy other stuff though. Sometimes they'll bring their families. Well, they just dig through the clothes, and then their families, look around and buy other stuff. So necessities, clothing, furniture. Furniture is huge. Right now it's Texas. I'm selling a ton of furniture. Appliances. Man, if you can get washers and dryers and refrigerators, because they always are going to break and go out on people. And when a washing machine goes out and people don't have a lot of money, and if you can sell them one for 150 bucks versus going and spending $500 or $600, you can sell those, you can sell them, a whole lot of them. You can sell them all day. You can sell them often. Appliances is huge, but just necessities in general. Food, I've been selling a lot of food lately. If you can get your hands on food, grocery type items, and you can sell it cheap, you can sell that stuff really easy. You can sell a ton of it. But definitely necessities, make sure you have necessities. Don't just focus on, on non-essential stuff, because it's non-essential. And if people start cutting back and budgeting, they're not going to buy as much of that. All right. Okay. And one last thing I'm going to say is, okay, if you're running a thrift store and you are running it as a nonprofit, a charity, so all you want to do is take donation, that's fine. Normally people that are doing that, most of the time they already have enough money to pay their bills, or it's an organization or something. They're not relying on the thrift store to generate enough money to pay their bills, to pay their mortgage, to pay their light bill, to pay all that stuff. So most people opening up their store, you're trying to make a profit. It's for profit. So if you're going to do that, you cannot rely on donations. You can take donations, but you can't rely on them, because when you get donations, you're going to get the overwhelming majority of your stuff is going to be stuff that's, the people they didn't want, and they didn't know anybody in their family that wanted it. So it's a lot of times going to be just not the most desirable stuff you're not going to be able to get much money for. So you can only go so far selling, a lot of, everything's $5 or under. So donations is, it's good to get them and mix them in, but to rely on that to run a store, it's going to be very difficult. Also, same thing, if you're just relying on going and getting free loads, like yard sale leftovers, like, hey, free load here, had a yard sale, everything that's left over, you can have it. It's like, that's good. You're going to do a lot of work though, and you're not going to have as big of profit margins, because your profit margin is going to be big, but your overall sales, you're not going to have as high revenue, because a lot of the stuff you're getting is the stuff nobody wanted, or at least, you can sell anything, but you're going to have to sell that stuff really cheap, because everybody overlooked that item. It's either out of style, it's ugly, it's broken, it's just an odd item that not a lot of people want. So you're going to have to buy stuff. You're going to have to spend money. You have to spend money to make money. So that doesn't mean you have to go crazy and buy the most expensive stuff in the world. But like when it comes to storage units, if I only bought like units for $100 or less, I wouldn't be able to keep this place in business. I wouldn't make enough money because I wouldn't get enough big ticket stuff. Now, if I only bought units for $1,000 and up, then I probably wouldn't do good either, because sometimes you can do good on those, but a lot of those you end up spending too much money when they get way up there. So you got to be careful on those. Those can be really, really good, but you got to be careful. So your kind of sweet spot for me on storage units is that kind of between like 300 and 700, like $500 kind of in there. You can get some big ticket items. You get all your little stuff. You get a little bit of everything, and you don't have the huge amount invested to where if the unit turns out to have a few broken things or missing things, it's not going to break you. So, but you can go and pick too. You know, there's a lot of ways to get stuff. I'm just saying storage units because that's what I do. But if you're looking for the best way to get large amounts of inventory for a thrift store, it is storage units. I buy pallets too. I do other stuff, but the best way to get the biggest bang for your buck, I've bought all of them, and I promise you, it is storage units. It's a lot of work. You're going to work your butt off. It's a lot of heavy lifting. Sometimes it can be dirty. It can be gross. It can be hot. It can be sweaty. It can be cold. Your hands will be frozen touching all the stuff. You'll be in these units shivering. You'll be in there sweating, and dust is sticking to you. But it's the best bang for your buck, and then you have that jackpot surprise factor. But even if you don't think about the jackpots, the amount of stuff you can get, sellable stuff, it can't be beat by, pallets is not going to beat it. You're going to pay a lot more for pallets. Picking is not going to beat it, because you're going to have to, it would take you so long going out there and picking, so much time and effort driving, to yard sales and everything. You would not be able to pick and get the variety and everything you can get out of storage units. It would just take you it's just not going to work. It would take you way longer. If you want to pick, picking is better for if you're going to have just a booth, if you're going to just sell online. But if you're going to do a whole store, you've got to figure out ways to get large quantities of stuff for as cheap as you can. The best bang for your buck. All right, so I'm going to do a quick walk around of the store, kind of show you here. So that's kind of the deal in the store. Kind of went through everything, all my advice, all my tips. Obviously, that's not set in stone. Other people might have stuff that works better for them. Other people might have different opinions. I'm just telling you my opinion, my advice as someone who has been in the resale business for over a decade, been running a thrift store for over a decade. I'm a licensed auctioneer. I've been running an auction for years and years now. I've sold on eBay, sold on Amazon, all that stuff, Craigslist, Facebook. I've bought, I think I'm at about 2,000 units now. When I started doing YouTube, I figured it up, and I was over 1,500 units, so I'm probably like 2,000 storage units. I've sold a ton of stuff, everything you can think of. So I might know just a little bit, but you might know just a little bit more than me. Who knows? So, just take what I said. You might just apply pieces and parts, or you might, apply it all. I don't know. But I'm going to walk around the store real quick just to kind of give you a little tour here. All right, when you come in the doors, like I said, normally we got stuff sitting out on the front sidewalk. So out in the parking lot, we've got the U-Hauls. We kind of sit off of the road, not right. We're on a busy road, but we kind of sit back a little bit. So my rent here is not quite warehouse rent, but it's kind of in between warehouse and retail rent. If you didn't know, warehouse rent is much cheaper than retail. So if you can find a really, really good deal on warehouse space and get a lot of space, then sometimes that's the best route to go. But you're gonna have to work your butt off marketing. If you find if you're in a really expensive spot, in a strip mall or whatever, it's like you're gonna pay a lot for that premium spot where people can see you. So because of that, you're still gonna have to market like crazy, because your rent's gonna be so high. You got to sell a lot of stuff to make up for it. So whichever route you want to go, I'd kind of suggest maybe going the warehouse route at the beginning. That's what I did at the very beginning, or finding you a retail spot like this one that's not crazy, over the top rent, and then just work it, market, and build up your regular customers. All right, so when you walk in the door here, we got 2 doors. We got a double door here, one over here, one over there. This is our checkout area. We got a big area here. We're selling some odds and ends up here, just like every store does. And back there it's a mess. We clean it up, it gets a mess. We clean it up, it gets a mess. But we got a big table there for when you're up there pricing and doing different work or whatever. But as you go around here, this is all like vendor booth space. I'm not going to go down the whole entire store. I'm just kind of showing you a quick little tour. So there's a new vendor moving in there, and right here, and a new vendor just started moving in here. Actually, I haven't even been over here. So looks like they got some kind of cool stuff. This art's kind of cool. I haven't even seen this. I'll look at the vintage toys over here. These are cool. So yeah, they just moved in. This is really nice right here. $125 on this old hutch. Chips, bread, taters, onions. All right. So coming around this way, and this is all vendors renting this space. And then when we come over here, like the whole dig area, that's our stuff. The auction area is our stuff. All this whole middle section is all ours. We got all this. We got a lot of big items over here. It's been really busy the last few days, so we got a lot of holes. I just kind of spread some of this out earlier today. Like all that sold. That couch is sold. We had a bedroom set, a love seat, another couch, several things on Saturday sold. A lot of big stuff sold. And then, see if we come this way, there's more space. But this is all, when you get over here on this side too, this is all vendor space. People selling furniture, people selling vintage, people selling smalls. See over here, people selling furniture. That sold. This person sold a lot of furniture over the last couple of days. Show you one really cool booth over here. This one's, the guy calls it the Rat's Hole, and he just has does a lot of vintage, retro, and just kind of oddity type stuff. And he sells a lot of stuff because he sells it. He normally prices it pretty cheap compared to what a lot of people would price this type of stuff. So walking through here now, show you another section here. This is another vendor. Let me show you what they do. All right, see, they rented this space and they put all these tables here, and then everything over here is either $2 each or 3 for $5. They buy pallets and they get all this little stuff, vitamins, nail polish, makeup. They get little toys. What is that? Lotion, hair bows, cereal, all this stuff here. $2 each or 3 for $5. And they sell stuff all day, every day. We got our flag there, and then more vendor space back here. When you get here in the back, this area here, we're setting up, we have another smaller auction. I didn't even mention it. It's a small auction we do in between the bigger one, and then kind of offices back there. Bathrooms back here. And then back here we got, woo, we got crap everywhere back here. I don't know how well you can see it. It's dark. Trash pile, scrap metal pile, dumpster, and then all kinds of junk just kind of overflowing in the back here. And then there's a back room over there. So I'm not gonna, the back room is just, it's just full of stuff just piled up that, you know, we get out of units that we're kind of sorting through and everything. So that's kind of the basic deal. So if you're doing a thrift store in 2024, then if you, just like any time, you know, go for it. If this is what you want to do and you got a plan in place, you got a way to get inventory, you got a way to move inventory, you got all that kind of stuff, then go for it. A lot of people would say, oh, inflate, you know, not a good time. You know, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be some reason why you can say now's not a good time. But you know, when it comes to a thrift store, you can always sell stuff. People are always looking for a deal. Good economy, bad economy. It's kind of recession proof. So if you got a plan in place, if this is what you want to do, then I would say go for it. All right, that's it for this video. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You'll have a good one.